This is session 3 of your traffic and SEO training. In this session, we're going to go over article marketing and keyword research for more traffic and more profits. You want to write informative articles that help build credibility and that drive targeted traffic and increase your search engine ranking. So that's very, very important. The next thing is to keep in mind articles increase your online exposure by placing your articles on high traffic, high authority websites. And I want to make sure that I made the screen active, so I'm going to just double check on that. Okay, good. So you guys are seeing the screen. I just want to verify that. So let's go back right here. Okay, so obviously you want to be writing informative articles using that keyword research that we just went over. So when you're writing these informative articles, they will help you build credibility, drive targeted traffic, and increase search engine rankings. People will help see you as an expert, and that's why article marketing is so important to your business. Articles increase your online exposure by placing your articles on high traffic, high authority websites. You're simply providing information that people are seeking, and that's where you come up, and that's why you want to provide the information that people are seeking using those keyword research tools that I just went over briefly. And then at the end of the articles, you want to include a link to your websites. You want to include a call to action so that people will go right back to your websites. You want to have some sort of a call to action within that. So here's a little brief overview of how to write articles. You want to include a catchy, keyword-rich title for the article, and you want to try to write at least 3 and around 5 short paragraphs for your article. So shorter paragraphs will increase the chances of the article being read. It's really difficult to read articles, you've probably seen them that have 150, 200 some words in just one little article. It can be difficult here in one paragraph. It can be very difficult to follow along, and that's why a lot of sales pages and things like that you see online are broken down into a little more easier to manage bite-sized chunks. So you can even try to include some subheadings within your articles as well. So you want to include a catchy keyword-rich title for the article, and the keyword-rich title would be exactly what we just researched. And when I'm talking about keyword-rich title, you want to include your keyword somewhere in the article title, preferably at as far to the left, the beginning of it as possible. But if you can't include it to where it makes sense and it's catchy, you want to include it somewhere in there. Things like step by step, 5 steps to dog leash training success. That would be a great article title. 5 steps to dog leash training success. 5 steps to putting success. Things like that. Those would be huge for you. You want to provide good, solid content within your articles, within those 3 to 5 paragraphs or more of your article. Provide good, solid content to the readers, because by providing good content, people are going to want to purchase something from you. They're going to want to click to learn more, because they're going to say, wow, he's providing this kind of content for free. What's he got to offer me on his website? Does he have more of this great content? That kind of thing. People will respect you if you provide good, solid, and informative content. Some good subjects here, articles that do really well. How-to articles, I talked about that. Bulleted points, so articles with 5 bullet points, 5 step-by-step plans, things like that. They do really well as far as getting people interested, in reading the articles and getting them to draw their attention in. Article subjects, like I said, 5 steps to dog leash training success. That'd be huge, because people say, okay, I don't really have time to read a big, article that, sometimes they think of articles, they think of long, big, educational type articles that people write out a bunch, 5,000 word articles. These are just short, to the point, step-by-step articles. So they're like, okay, I can take 5 little steps, and each little step might be, a little paragraph or a little bullet point or something like that. So, dog leash training, 5 steps to success. And you could actually take that title I just said right here and apply it to your niche, weight loss secrets, 5 steps to success. Weight loss tips, 5 steps to success. Bird watching, bird watching success, or whatever. Bird watching, 5 steps to success. You get the idea. Mortgage, 5 steps to success. So there's a basic on how to write some articles, what you're trying to accomplish when you're writing articles. At the end of the articles, make sure you include an about the author, a bio, an about the author bio or biography, which also is also called a resource box from time to time. and it should be around 200 characters or one or two sentences, or even 150 characters, whatever it is. You don't really need to sit there and write out the characters. Try to keep it under 200 characters because some article directories won't allow you to submit more than that. I know Ezine articles let you submit a little more than that, but I try to keep it around that level just to make sure that I get as many pickups on my articles as possible. Or a good rule of thumb, like I said, is one or two sentences. Inside your resource box, you want to include an offer or an enticing reason for them to visit your website. And you want to include an anchor text link going back to your website for maximum SEO benefit. Now, for those that maybe haven't watched week 2 video or you missed last week, we talked about how important backlinks are and anchor text links. And that's actually another whole subject too. We're going to go more into backlinking because it's so huge for your success with search engine optimization and traffic. And getting backlinks to your site is really important if you're using anchor text link. When I talk about anchor text link, I mean the clickable part of the link. And hopefully in this example here, you can kind of see what I'm referring to. So you see here in my example of a good resource box, a decent one. This is my name. Paul Counts is an internet marketing consultant, small business coach. Discover how you can make money online as quickly as today by visiting fastcashaccounts.com, where you can download the free step-by-step video training series now. So what you've got here is with Make Money Online, that is my anchor text, or sometimes referred to as clickable text. That anchor text, Make Money Online, links to my blog, paulcounts.com. Oops, didn't mean to click on that, but there it is. So it links right over to my blog. And that anchor text tells the search engines what to expect on my website. And search engines love anchor text, search engine friendly links. And I show you here how to actually create that so you know the code that I use to make a link like that. And that's very important that you're using this because not only do you want to use these articles to get traffic and interest in your site, but you want to use these articles so that people are coming to your site, and also search engines scour these article directories. They pick up the article directories and then they'll follow the link to your site. And the more links to your site, the more votes your site has, so to speak, in search engines. And the more votes your site has, the higher your site ranks. So I hope you can see how they work together. Not only do the articles drive traffic, they also drive and improve your search engine rankings, which, when working together, will help you increase your overall traffic. Now, article directories, just so I'm clear on that, it's not the only source of link building you're going to want to do. Article directories don't have as much authority as far as increased search engine rankings as they used to, but they still benefit you. So there's other link building alternatives for SEO link building that we talk about, again, more in depth. There's so many things to cover in this traffic course. But basically, as quickly as today, you can just go to fastcashcounts.com, so basically this is my call to action. I have another site I'm directing them to. So I'm getting links into this site. It's just not an anchor text link. And the reason I didn't do an anchor text link on that is because you want to try to limit your resource box. This is really important, to one anchor text link, because you don't want to have too many of them, because the search engines, it'll kind of discount it. So I try to just focus on having one anchor text link, within the actual resource box. So that's what I try to focus on, just so they have a focus there. And then the website right there, I want to try to build up that brand name when I put in the website. So these could be the same website if you want them to. I just chose to make them separate. And, so as quickly as today, visiting, fastcashcounts.com, and also do that too so it flows, because, it doesn't look right to say as quickly as today by visiting, Make Money Online. That won't flow. So you have to have your URL in there. But you want to try to use your anchor text before you give them the call to action on your URL, if that makes sense. So basically structure it very similar to how I've structured this resource box, and you'll be set to go. You obviously can see how you can include your name, so it builds your name's your credibility, and then your niche, whatever niche yours is, whatever it is that you do, try to build up who you are and what you do, and then give them a reason to visit your site. Like I say, discover how you can make money online as quickly as today, and I have a 7-part video series where I teach people how they can start making money online as fast as today using Google Hot Trends, and I have a nice little 7-part training series, so I get them on my list. And so that gets them a reason to say, okay, he's got a great article here, so wow, this is really interesting. Where I want to download this free series. So basically they go right over and they'll click right on that resource box. And that's how you want your resource box structured. You want to give them a reason to go to your site. You want to give them a nice anchor text link so you get some search engine benefit, so you get some backlinking benefit from it. But again, I want to reiterate on the search engine linking part, don't just rely solely on article marketing when you're doing link building. Rely on some of the other things we've talked about so far and that we will talk about here in the future or in the next training. So keep that in mind. Now, article resource box. Here's the HTML version of the resource box I use. Now, when I say HTML, that means the hypertext markup language, which is basically HTML is the coding. You're probably familiar with that, obviously by now. That sites are run on. And most of these sites, a lot of article directories have an HTML about the author section, and they also have one that's non-HTML. And the non-HTML one only allows you to have a link to your site, like this link right here, http fastcashcounts.com. I chose to capitalize the different words in my name just because it kind of helps. It helps kind of stick out in people's mind. It doesn't affect your URL at all. You can type in caps or no caps in your main URL, and it'll go where you want. And so basically, discover how you can make money online. And notice this is the code that I use. So this forward slash, you want to write down this one here at the bottom, right here. Oops. The one that has a caret to the left, and then it's got the A space href equal sign, and then a quote, first quote mark, and then put in your URL. So that would be the link to your website that you want to get the benefit. That could either be a link to your website, a link to an article page on your site. It doesn't have to be to your homepage. You can deep link is what it's called. And deep linking can really help you with search engine optimization. And we cover that in the future as well. But with deep linking, you send them a link. So you pull up your website, your article, maybe it's an article on your site, and you want to send traffic just to that particular page on that article. That would be, obviously your URL. That's where that goes. The link text, that's your main keyword phrase, is your link text. That's where your main keyword phrase is. That is the link text. That is the text that you want your anchor text. That's your clickable text. So that's like, in this case, make money online. And it has to be in between these two little, I call them little carets. You call them whatever you want. So there's the caret to the right. Some people call them less than or greater than, like the math symbol. So you choose however you want to call them, but it must go between those, the link text, and then it must end with this, you've got a little arrow to the left, / the letter A, arrow to the right. Now don't ask me what all that stuff means. All I know is that it makes a link look how it does. I'm not an HTML guru or expert. But this is the little link code you're going to want to write down because you want to use this when creating your anchor text links. And you'll want to refer to this in the future too for when you're doing press release marketing and other forms of marketing on your site as well to generate anchor text, search engine friendly backlinks that we have discussed before. So article topic ideas, like I mentioned, that keyword research is some ideas, and here's a few more. You can research other article directories and browse the top performing articles for ideas on content to write about. So basically, so you could research these other article directories and research other article directories and browse the top performing ones and come up with some ideas. So you can go to for example, you can go right over to ezinearticles.com, and let's just pull that up, www.ezinearticles.com. And if you go and let's say we narrow down to a particular niche, like let's just say health and fitness, and let's pull down acne as another niche within a niche, and you would see here at the top of all Ezine Articles pages, they have a little page up here that says Top Authors in Health and Fitness. And you could click in here and get some ideas for what these top authors in this category. Now I'm not saying to copy I'm saying to come up with some ideas for article subjects. I'm not saying to go in and copy their articles by any means. I'm talking about coming in there and helping yourself brainstorm some subject ideas that they have used for success because they're considered a top author in their field. And you can also utilize this to get ideas for how you can structure your article titles using the keywords that you have researched. So as you will recall, the keyword research we already went through in depth. This is how you can go in and actually start going through the process. So cures for pimples. Cures for pimples would be his main keywords. Get rid of those ugly pimples and get your clear skin and beautiful skin back. So there's a little subject. Home remedies for acne. That's his keyword. Space. Use these remedies to get your clear and beautiful skin back. So notice in the title, he does a fabulous job. Now, I haven't looked at this stuff yet. I'm just showing you guys this as an example. They do a great job of including their keywords as far to the left, and then they do a great job of trying to sell people on reading that article. So you see here they've got their main keyword, space, dash, space, and that could be probably the best way to format some of your articles because it's easy to read. It's got the information they want. If your article title is on, comes up on the first page, not only is it going to interest people because your actual article, not only is it going to interest them because of your article itself, but it's actually going to, interest people because it's what they searched for. It's what they actually searched for, so it's going to match up, obviously, and that's why it's ranking, but it's going to match up with what they looked for. Dog leash training, they are looking for dog leash training. They're not looking for dog training overall. They're particular about dog leash training. So if you give them the article related to dog leash training, they're going to click on it. If you include that in your subject line with something enticing like 5 steps to success, they're going to be really interested in clicking. They'll see like, wow, this looks like a great resource. And then they read through your article, they see your bio box, they happen to click through to your site, maybe they sign up for your list, maybe they click on the affiliate link you have on your site that takes them over to like ClickBank, and it takes them right on over to the affiliate site, and then maybe they sign up and they buy the ebook you're promoting, or maybe they buy your ebook, or maybe they maybe they buy a dog training collar from you, or leash or something like that, for their dog, or maybe they sign up for your dog social networking site. You get the idea. Now all of a sudden you've given people what they want because you did a good job doing your research and applying these principles, and you will be rewarded for that, because not only will Google reward you by ranking the various articles up there because you've matched up with what people want, you have good content, but the people will appreciate the good content, and then you see how this can really grow. Obviously, use the keyword research, and then use the idea mentioned above. Work them in tandem. Okay, here's some keywords. Now, how could I? Let's look up some ideas of how successful authors on easingarticles.com has formulated their articles. So use that as a guide or as some examples. Obviously, do not copy titles. Try to not copy article titles. That's not a good thing to do. Sometimes, obviously, there's some article subjects that you may have to have very similar subject titles. And that's just a hard fact, because there's search engine search engine optimization. There's only so many ways you can say the word search engine optimization. So I could do an article, search engine optimization, 5 steps to success. And somebody else might have an article, search engine optimization, 3 steps to success, or successful search engine optimization tips. Well, obviously I'm not copying the content. I'm writing my own content. But if the article title is similar, don't fret about it. Just don't blatantly go out there and try to copy them if you can help it. And obviously, do not copy the content that they have within their articles. Create your own content. Be original. You can write 1 article per keyword phrase most of the time. So as we identified using the AdWords keyword tool, we were able to identify a lot of keyword phrases that we could go after. So creating content for your articles, research other websites, books, and magazines in your niche. Now, books and magazines, that might be slightly extreme. But if you really want to get serious and write some good contents, go to the library or buy a book on your niche, or library is your best bet because it's free. Compile some research. Make sure you give, if you take some credit, if you're taking exact points from exact written text from books and stuff, try to put together a little resource sheet if you can help it, so you can say things like, according to this book by this author, blah, blah, blah is true about dog leash training, So I hope you guys get that idea there. So don't obviously plagiarize from books. I'm not encouraging that. Use it like you're writing a paper for college, Come up with some ideas, some subjects, things like that. Reference them in your article. It'll help give you some credibility, too. It's kind of using that, what we call borrowed credibility in this industry, They're like, wow, look at that. They're kind of writing an article, that this successful author's written. Wow, this must be good information, that kind of stuff. Plus, it helps that, it helps that author out because they helped you. It's just, good karma to do that. Take things from magazines. According to Dog Training Journal, dog leash training can take, 5 weeks to be successful at, or something like that, So you get the idea. Use books, magazines, other websites, within your research, and obviously if you just take stats from these different sites, you don't really need to reference them. If you pull some data or stats that may not be proprietary to them, meaning that's their only source of content, then by all means, use that content, just formulate your own wording around it. But just be careful there. Obviously, I'm not teaching anybody to go plagiarize and copy. I'm going to be very careful about saying that. Don't want anybody to get upset here. But you do need to do research if you're going to have good, solid articles. You need to research your niche market. You can use software to help you find the information you're looking for. And so this is a perfect segue to go right into the software that I am providing for you guys as a free little bonus. So this is a free bonus. It's an article ideas software, and it will help you really write articles really quick. So for example, how this little software works, and you guys get a copy of this. It will be available sometime in the next 24 to 48 hours on the same page where I post all the articles on. You're going to get a main topic. So you can just click here where it says main topic, and main topic you type in your keyword phrase. So for example, dog leash training, and just choose go. And then what the software is going to do, it's going out to various websites, and it's actually pulling down some information from these websites. It's grabbing just some basic research information. So obviously you're not going to want to just go out there and swipe this content directly. It's so you don't want to just copy it verbatim, but you can take some of this wording, reword it for yourself, or you can go to these sites and find some more research. So notice how really pretty quickly, I got several sites that I could consider. So let me drag this down here. And there weren't a ton of sites for this particular niche keyword phrase, but you could use it for some more broad terms pretty quickly, to get some more ideas. But if I click here, pets, animals. Oops. So that's a bad example. Okay, so you could actually click here and copy. Oop. You can open that link, and then you could go and read, here's a nice little article. You might be able to pull some ideas. You might be able to even, reference this person, the author of this article. They didn't really include a name in their author section, but you could go here and, okay, so that's a good source for, dog leash training. So I could go there and write up some information about it. You could take here and put in, keywords such as weight loss as an example. And notice weight loss and some broader niches will actually start pulling the results that I was hoping that would actually pull from. And you kind of get some ideas here. Now some of it, is kind of junky, but some of it is workable. So if I just stop that. Okay, and then notice here you can go right over here to the plain text view, and you could actually just take these various little segments and copy. Like you could take this whole thing, copy to clipboard, and then you could open up a little notepad file, paste it right in there, format, word wrap, and then you could just go ahead and just start, clean out the junk that maybe comes in. But just, you've got right at your hand some research that you could start doing. Weight loss is about knowing which foods are healthy and eating more of the healthy foods. Okay, that's a good little sentence, so let me go and take another one, and so you go grab a few more sentences, and then you take them and just start, rewording that. So really quickly here, it gets your research done for you. So I'll give you guys access to the software. You can play around with it. I was pretty excited when I found out I was able to give this to you guys. So I'm going to enable you guys to use that software. It might help you guys some in your article writing. So you can use some software tools. You can also do your own research on Google itself. That's some other ideas. Google dog leash training and look up some other articles. dogleashtraining.net, and pull some data, information, or get some ideas. Have a little notepad next to you, or a little notepad text file, and write out, okay, maybe I should comment on, write something about this, or read the comments on these various articles and see if people had questions related to that. You can go into website forums, so like, dog training forums, and you could see big questions that people have about dog trainings, so, like there's inside this dog forum that I'm just clicking on, here's a dog behavior training section, or some articles on dog behavior training, so you could pull some more ideas within these forums. And there's just a lot of data that you could pull from. So here's like an individual dog training forum, and you could go through here and identify questions that people have. So then you could answer these questions that people have related to dog training. Another tool example, another tool slash freebie thing that you can use is Yahoo Answers. So you can just go right in here to Yahoo Answers and go ahead and do a quick search for your question. So let's say dog leash training. See if anybody has any questions about it. Where can I find a dog leash or dog training leash? Does dog leash training or dog leash training, how long should it take? So there's an example of a good article. Somebody's saying, okay, dog leash training, how long should it take? I'm going to train my dog. How long should I take for each session? And then you could research that answer, come up with an article, and respond to them with a link to your ezine articles that you created. Plus, you're creating content for yourself with that main keyword phrase. So definitely use Yahoo Answers as another research tool to utilize. So again, we talked about using software. You can rewrite private label rights articles, and I encourage you to rewrite them because you want to have good, unique content. You want to ensure that your articles are picked up. So if you rewrite them, it's basically reordering the content, adding content to them, taking out words, coming up using a thesaurus, which is basically it's a tool that gives you kind of like a dictionary, but it gives you synonyms, keywords that are or words that are similar to different keywords within that. So you might use additional keywords like dog leash training, dog obedience training, or something. You might tie those kind of words in. Leash, collars, those kind of run together. You can try to use those inside within your article. Come up with some ideas, just some various things that might make sense, some core keyword phrases. You could change them to different keywords as long as they mean the same thing. Rewrite the article, basically take the content and say, okay, this is good research, but I'm going to rewrite it myself. The great thing with that PLR content, when you're rewriting it, you don't need to worry about referencing, the PLR content because you have the rights to it to do whatever you want with pretty much. So you don't need to be sitting there and referencing people. It gives you some abilities. And you can find private label rights articles by just going to Google and typing in, dog training private label rights, dog leash training private label rights. You might find articles on even the most niche keyword phrases, but usually you're going to find it for broad keywords. But if you have private label rights articles and they already have good subjects that are already getting traffic, you could actually use those as subjects to start with. So a lot of times we get private label rights. Maybe you have 100 articles, PLR articles on the weight loss niche. Well, now all of a sudden you've got 100 articles that potentially have search volume that you could go in and rewrite or combine it. You could even take bits and pieces from private label rights articles, combine them to an original article that you're writing, or take half of a PLR article and combine it with half of an article you wrote. And there you go, you've got yourself some good unique content.